Hey guys, Press Bill Comic Book University podcast issue number 23. And what's up? Bored out of my mind. Late as can be. Noises outside. Anyway, yeah. Sorry guys. A whole bunch of things happened. A whole bunch of ridiculous, weird, crazy things happened yesterday. Yesterday morning, I go and I put up a single thing for here. Not last night, but the night before and the night before that, we had a couple of real quick like flashes of electricity. You know what I'm saying? Like the electricity would go on and immediately come back off. So I'd be on my computer working or, whatever, and all of a sudden, like just boom, boom, like that, and my computer restarts. If I was working on my old desktop, excuse me, my old laptop wouldn't be an issue, right? Because the battery just keeps going. But the desktop, unfortunately, yeah, it's like, screw you. So, what do you call it? Let me just slide this over a little bit. So I, at one point, the very last one that happened yesterday morning, it went off and the computer didn't come back on, but I saw the lights were still working. So I just gotten finished putting out a comic book review, I forget which one it was, whatever it was, and then I right away started working on editing my Uncanny Avengers issue number 25, and all of a sudden, that flash happens. I'm like, what the frig? And I'm laughing now because whatever, but yeah, my power supply on my computer actually blew. Like, I knew that's what it was. Like, it's not that I built my own computer before, not this one, but I built a computer before, and I know right away, yeah, that's the freaking power supply. That's obviously the first thing that's going to go. The internet might have actually gone also. You know what I'm saying? But no, everything was functioning. I tried a bunch of different things, whatever, and it was like all of a sudden, yeah, my computer, the power supply blew. So, called a bunch of people, whatever. I actually had to call my wife too because we've only got the one car, and she had just left for work. So I'm like, babe, I need to get my computer back online in order to do things I got to do. Like, sorry. She was cool with it. While I was waiting for her to get back, I'm sitting there doing the calculations. I'm like, you know what? I am 2 weeks shy of my 6 month of having actually purchased this thing. So, what do you call it? I was technically still within 2 weeks of that initial 6 month manufacturer's warranty from the store itself, whatever. Yeah, the store, whatever. So that I got it from a Best Buy. That if anything goes on it, like naturally or whatever, then they will repair it. So I actually had to. I got the power supply fixed for free, but oof, and man, I had to go in there and like wheel and deal because it's a Friday and there's a whole bunch of people there. There's a bunch of people ahead of me, even though the store had just opened. Like we got all these things to do. It's like, listen, you got a whole bunch of desktops and a whole bunch of little, equipment and things like that, or excuse me, a bunch of little laptops you got to fix and whatnot. But I got my whole entire desktop here because that's the problem. When you got a desktop and it blows, like you've got all this stuff that you got to. What's up, Frag? You got all this stuff, that you got to bring, all the peripherals, the monitor and the keyboard, the mouse, everything that you got to bring, plus all the cords. So I bring all this stuff. I was like, listen, man, seriously, like I know you got a whole bunch of stuff in front of you, all right? But at the same time, I'm going to sit right here, okay? I'm going to sit right here and I'm going to wait for you, okay? And you could just get this thing in and out. It's just a power supply. It's just the power supply. Switch out the power supply for me really quick. And then I'm gone. I'm done. Sign whatever you need to sign, and then I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Like, boom, and then how much space did you just free out? You know what I'm saying? And worst case scenario, dude, I've got tools in my car. I'll go out and I won't even use your tools. I'll go out and get my tools. I'll come back. You have the power supply here. I'll replace the power supply. Come on. And I just like I wheedle him into it, and he's finally like, all right, just give me a second. I'll go see what I could do. I knew what that meant. And he comes out, he's like, yeah, sure enough, man, I got you back. And he like literally did it right then and there on the spot. Checked it out, it worked, boom, I go home. But first, I had to buy, actually, you know what? You guys have to see this thing. Look at this sexy beast. This is my new surge protector, but it's also a power supply. So a secondary power supply, or a battery. So I've got, if the power ever goes out, this thing won't go out also. And it was like 180 bucks Canadian. And on top of that, if I, what do you call it? If the power goes out, I can still work, and I don't have to worry about this thing blowing. And replacing this thing is nothing, because I actually got this at Costco. So they've got that no frills problem. But yeah, Anyway, so that screwed up my whole schedule, screwed up a lot of things, just that one little thing happening. Also, I'm wearing a hat today. And yes, I've got the whole Green Lantern set up. I just can't fit this thing on my finger properly because, like, I'm big and this thing is kind of small. So I think it's made for regular sized people. And I know I actually tried to put it on earlier and it hurt trying to get it off. So just here, you know what? If Chip could put it on his tail, I could put it here. You remember Chip? I used to love Chip. He was actually my favorite Green Lantern for the longest time, man. I loved Chip, the little squirrel guy. Anyway, so yeah, I decided to use the Green Lantern thing because I actually just read, I know it came out yesterday, but I just read that Green Lantern Earth 1 Volume 1 is coming out on March 20th. I know, it's a long ways away, but I'm really excited over this. This is actually going to be kind of like a Green Lantern rebirth. It's going to be a reimagining. It's probably going to be Elseworlds. And it's where Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, is actually a scientist, and it looks like he's actually in space. So that's when Abin Sur is going to come in and choose him and whatnot. So you don't have to do the whole starship thing, like Abin Sur was in a spaceship and met up with him. Like, you understand? It never made sense. He could fly. Why does he need the spaceship? And they made good sense of it in the Green Lantern movie. I know, I'm praising the Green Lantern movie, but nonetheless, dude, like, you know, it really just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So that's cool. So, and also think about it, if he's a scientist, then if he's an astronaut, he's most likely an engineer. Most engineers, to the best of my knowledge, like I know Neil Armstrong and Alan Alda? Alan Alda? No, Alan Alda's from MASH. Buzz Aldrin. Oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. Buzz Aldrin, I actually got to talk to him on a Reddit live chat. That was very cool. That was a couple years ago. But they were engineers, you know what I'm saying? So I used to be an electrical engineer. So I know, like, when I think of all the things that I would do with a Green Lantern ring, it's cool that he's fearless because he's a test pilot. At the same time, can you imagine the things he could do if he actually had a background in physics? Well, you know, perpetual motion, things like that. That'd be awesome. So we actually get to see, this looks like it's going to be a good reimagining. Also, just real quick from my back page of my stuff, I got R.L. Stine. He just finished his Man-Thing, issues 1 through 5. It was a 5-issue miniseries. Well, now he's going to turn around and he's going to go over to IDW Comics. And I wish him well. I wish him well. I'm glad he's going to be in the comics. He's going to go back to doing his Goosebumps, but in the comics. I loved the idea that he was going to be doing the Man-Thing, but I thought that he was actually going to be doing the Man-Thing as opposed to taking the Man-Thing and just changing the character up a little bit. Like, that just, the story wasn't great. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. I reviewed all 5 issues of it, and you could see me slowly, I started, I was like, this is a great comic. I went to trying to defend the comic, and I was just like, I'm not getting paid to defend this comic. So, yeah, I hope he does good over at IDW. IDW allows for so much stuff over there. Like, I know a lot of people used to think that Image Comics was going to be the next big thing, aside from the big two, Marvel and DC. Nah, dude. It's going to be freaking IDW. If they keep going the way they're going, because they got a whole bunch of licensed property, and they've got really good imaginations and things like that, and I love it. Also, this is particularly happy for me. First off, real quick, Ragman is going to be coming to another miniseries. I think most of you guys are going to be like, who? Ragman. He actually came out in 1976, believe it or not, that long ago, and he's very rarely been used. But he's basically this mummy who, wrapped up in his cloths, are the souls of ancients that he uses to summon up his powers. And he's actually pretty cool. He's actually, one of these days, expect an explained in a minute. Oh, you might see that little tag, the little image that I got, Black Fox explained in a minute. Yeah, that'll happen later on in the chat. In the meantime, yeah, Ragman's coming October 11th, actually. So I'm looking forward to that. That should actually be really fun. And yeah, I absolutely will do an explained in a minute for that guy. It's one of those things where my age might actually come into play and help out. But Neil Adams is going to be bringing back Deadman, and it's going to involve Batman, Zatanna, and oh my God! Now I'm looking at his face, but I can't remember his name all of a sudden. The guy with the Ankh, Dr. Fate. Hello, Anchman, Dr. Fate. Those 3 guys, actually going to involve those 3 guys, and Neil Adams is bringing them back. Mind blown. That's awesome. You know what I'm saying? Like, just one of the absolute hands-down greats, still alive, still kicking, and still kicking out some amazing comic books, dude. Neil Adams is just hands down. He's one of the best, one of the absolute best. and seeing that he's going to be coming back and bringing back Deadman. The last thing Deadman was in House of Forbidden Love, Dark Mansion of Forbidden Love, I think it was called. It was a 3-issue miniseries, a limited series, that actually had 2 chapters in each, so each one was a double-sized issue. And I reviewed all 3 of those, and I loved it. I thought it was great. And this time, with Batman and Zatanna and Dr. Fate in it, they're actually going to be exploring the person who assassinated Boston Brand. Boston Brand is Deadman. I've been wanting to do a Deadman explained. I don't usually wear hats, so I'm a little itchy. But my hair is also really wet from the shower. But I've been wanting to do a Boston Brand Deadman Explained in a Minute for the longest time. Ever since the first one I ever did was Plastic Man. And I was like, okay, I'm going to kick out a couple of these guys, and I actually have a file saved away so that I can, actually create the Deadman Explained in a Minute thing. And I was like, I need a reason to do it. He doesn't have a series out right now. He doesn't have anything out right now. Nobody knows who he is. When Justice League Dark came out, I was like, ooh! I was like, no, but I have to do all of them, and I can't, and this isn't going to be a big enough thing. I've got too many other characters I've got to do. They've got movies and TV shows and things like that coming out, and doing 2 a week is hard. It's a lot of work. It's sweaty, hard work. And then, trying to do 3 would be impossible, but even then, doing 2 a week, I feel like I'm so behind on doing these things, and it's my own pace, so how could I be behind, right? All right. Lucy Liu is in the news right now. She has been announced to direct the first episode of the 2nd season of Luke Cage on Netflix. Here are my feelings on that. Who cares? Why is this newsworthy? So what? Who's Lucy Liu? Wasn't she in Charlie's Angels? Who cares? She was in Kill Bill. Okay, so what? What else has she directed? Who is she? What's the big deal? So what? I think it would have been better if they would have just released all, they're going to have like 13 episodes like usual, just release all 13 directors, and just boom, like that, and have a little discussion, a blurb about each one. I don't see what the big deal is about having Lucy Liu doing this. So what? Maybe it'll be good. Who cares? I'll tell you when I see it. Guys, Marvel Legacy, Marvel Generations, talking about the Legacy characters. This is actually looking like it's going to be a big deal. They're trying to downplay it right now because the whole, Secret Empire thing right now is so huge, and they know a lot of fans have been saying, dude, you're breaking the bank because Marvel's very expensive with their comics, and you're putting in an awful lot of material. Also, Comic Book University at Real Professor Bill on Facebook. You can check it out. I put up a news article. I was really pleased with this. I actually put it up last week where what happened, all of the pre-orders, I'm one of them, for Dark Knight's Metal. Yeah, that 1 through 6 issue series that's going to be a Batman event, well, a DC event that's going to center on Batman, but have a whole bunch of people involved also. It's going to involve the rebirth of Hawkman, my favorite DC character, besides this guy. And that's actually looking like it's going to be pretty good. And there's so many pre-orders for issue number 1 that even though it was $4.99, they're like, listen, here's the deal. We're going to drop the price. And so many fans are clamoring for this. We're going to make our money off of this regardless. We're going to voluntarily drop the price of this without anybody having asked them by $1. So it's going to be $3.99. DC, you guys are freaking awesome. And if only Marvel would follow suit. Seriously, like real talk. Like, come on, man. Breaking the bank, dudes. So that is extremely cool. Like, nobody even asked them to do that, And I was going to pay $5 per issue for Dark Knight's Metal. It's only 6 issues. It's not 10 like Marvel's doing, which is good stuff, but on both sides, but it's a lot of money. So dropping that by $1 voluntarily is just, that's like finding out that they donated to Make-A-Wish Foundation or something like that, but affecting more than just one person. Anyway, yeah, so Marvel Generations, they're being very pointed in the idea that there's room for everyone. All right, so Marvel Generations, which it's going to do a bunch of things. It's going to be after the after the Secret Empire. And what they're going to do is they're going to have it so that while these are coming out, all 10 of these issues are coming out, and yes, I'm pre-ordering all of them also. I haven't yet, but I see that you can actually get a subscription and get the things really cheap. Marvel Generations is going to have it so that there's 10 issues where the newer legacy characters and the original legacy characters will meet up. All right, so like Wolverine will apparently be coming back during this time. Captain America will be back to normal at this time. Amadeus Cho is going to be meeting with the back to normal Incredible Hulk at this time. It's going to be a revisit of World War Hulk apparently. And Greg Pak, who's doing this, who's also currently doing Weapons of Mutant Destruction over in the By Itself and in the Weapon X books and in the Totally Awesome Hulk books, just, you are amazing. And dude, like, you're awesome. Like, amazing books right now. Absolutely amazing books. Amazing storyline. But he promises that this is not just going to be some throwaway, issue where it's like a one-shot and, read it and drop it, forget about it, file it away someplace and don't even worry about it, revisit it some other time. No, it's actually going to have long-lasting effects on the Marvel Universe. At the very least, on Amadeus Cho, it's going to have long-lasting effects that will be revisited often in the comics. Who could ask for anything more? That's actually an old commercial. Don't care. So, that being the case, that's looking good, but they're promising, like they're reiterating multiple times, there's room for everybody. So I don't know if there's going to be different names for these guys or whatnot, but like Thor is going to be worthy again, apparently. Everything is going to go back to, good, but you're going to have these legacy characters. They're still going to be around, and the original characters are going to be around. So I believe it also. There is room for everybody. Axel Alonso actually went out and he did this really cool, like 3-minute video. You can find it on Marvel Entertainment on YouTube. Really good stuff. He just sat there and he explained how the fans who weren't happy for the past couple of years that we've radically changed or actually gotten rid of their old characters who they beloved, and there's these new upstarts here. Forget about that. They're going to be back. They're going to be back to their original glory, and they're going to be in mentor relationships now at this point. So you'll actually see them do it. So this is a good soft reboot. Yeah, in a way, it actually is a pretty big reboot because they're actually bringing people back to their original numberings. So the comic books are going to go back to their original numberings. I actually talked about this last podcast. So with Fantastic Four no longer in the mix, wow. Oh. Did you guys by chance see the Fan Expo stuff that they're planning? Okay. First off, I'm going to try and approach this very delicately. I don't even have notes for this, okay? Holy crap, man. Just the potential here. And this could wind up being a total bust and, oh well. You know what I'm saying? Screw all of us, I guess, right? And I really hope Marvel's not trolling us. But here's the deal. The Fan Expo is coming out, and they're going to be talking about the new Avengers Tower and a whole bunch of different things like that. Okay, now we just saw recently spoilers for, while my hand is up, spoilers up for Spider-Man Homecoming. If you haven't seen it yet, I don't know why there's a spoiler. You're not going to see the movie. All right, just whatever. You don't need spoilers, but here we go. Spoilers right now. When my hand goes down, spoilers are over. Right, so put your fingers in your ears. Right now, in Spider-Man Homecoming, we saw that the Avengers Tower, Stark Tower, has been sold to an unnamed entity. Okay? Boom. So, that being the case, now, talking about this in hindsight, keeping that in mind, we know that the Fantastic Four, all right, they said that they're going to be doing a new reboot again where they're going to have the young, where you're going to see through Nathaniel Richards and Valeria Richards' eyes. Oh, guys, which comic is it? Oh, yes, I'm going to put it up tomorrow. My review for Doctor Strange and the Sorcerer Supreme. But all I'm saying is, yeah, I know, I didn't do issue 9, right? I stopped because that series just started to tick me off in the worst way. Well, I made and edited and finished a review for issue 9 and 10, like 9 in really quick retrospect, and actually in detail 10 because something really good involving the Fantastic Four-ish happens in that comic. So go out and grab the comic, get it digitally, whatever you got to do, all right? If you got it, go get it, however you need to get it, and look for my review tomorrow on that. Yes, I'm back on the series right now because I said if unless somebody in my comic book store says, Bill, you'll never believe what happened in the book that you dropped. Well, guess what happened? The owner says, hey, Bill, you're not going to believe what happened in the book that you dropped. I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? So Yeah, I bought it on his recommendation. Very happy that I did. Very happy that I did. All right. So what do you call it? And obviously 9, just so I wouldn't be lost. Issue 9. So anyway, that being the case, we know that the Fantastic Four reboot is supposed to be through the kids' eyes. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be more kid friendly in a sense. Cute. We all know that's not going to work. They're not going to be able to make that work. Is this? Let me lift this up a little bit higher. You know that's not going to work. So maybe they're just saying that there's some kind of a deal worked out. Whatever. Okay, I'm just fingers crossed and begging God, hoping beyond belief that my reveal for this, or that the reveal for this is exactly this. In Fan Expo, they've got this landscape, all right, the whole Avengers Tower thing and all that stuff, and the people there are saying this stuff is going to blow your mind. Okay, they're actually saying like those exact words. The reveal is going to blow your mind. Now, 4 characters. One of them is much bigger than the other 4. All right, and standing in front of Avengers Tower. Who do you think I'm thinking it's going to be? I'm thinking it's going to be the Fantastic Four, which means Marvel will have either worked out a deal or flat out bought the Fantastic Four from Fox. I'm really hoping it's the latter, but I would be okay with the former. You know what I'm saying? Not nearly as happy. I'd be like, wow, holy crap, that's really cool. But I would much rather be that they bought it. You know what I'm saying? That Fox gave some exorbitant price and was like, oh, okay, if you want it, you got to pay this much. And Marvel says, done and done. Who should I make the check out to? Cash? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm really hoping it is. But we'll see in Fan Expo. That'll be next week. So anyway, okay, back to this. New Spider. What do I got here? There's going to be a new Spider-Man cartoon on Disney XD. It's going to be called Marvel's Spider-Man. They're going to have Miles in it. They're going to have Spider-Gwen in it, and hopefully it's going to be like a constant thing. I'll watch the first episode at least and see if it's any good and see if I'm going to continue watching it. I won't be doing reviews on it, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'll definitely check it out. I would love to see that. It's going to be on the Disney XD app, which I didn't even know they had one. So yeah, I'll check it out. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Also, Guardians of the Galaxy. For those of you who care, the Guardians of the Galaxy on Disney XD has just been renewed for season 3. So I didn't even know they got to season 2. So I never watched it. So I might have to go back and give a look. You know what I'm saying? If it's on the app, if the app is free and all that stuff, and I can watch this stuff in retrospect, why not? You know what I'm saying? Find some time, watch these things. If it's on Disney XD, I'm sure my kids can watch it. I don't know how much they'll understand, but we'll see. My 4-year-old will be walking around, I am Groot. Shut up. No, you're not. What else? I know I missed something. Oh, here we go. Also, because of the Marvel Legacies, Spider-Man will renew with issue number 789? Yes, issue 789. So 11 issues to go until issue number 800. And so 789, ha ha ha. Issue 700, it'll switch from its current number. Like right now, issue number 31 just dropped. I think it was. Issue 30 just dropped. Whatever. I did the review. I put it up already. This comic will eventually go, like in August, I think is when it comes out. I believe in August is going to switch to 789, which means that was why I brought up the Fantastic Four in the first place, because now Fantastic Four was always the highest number in Marvel, but now that Spider-Man is going back to its original numbering, it's actually going to pass Fantastic Four, which means new bar set, and Spider-Man is now the longest running continuous comic book for it. That's why, I was still kind of upset that the Fantastic Four dropped. You know what I'm saying? Like they just dropped the title. It's like, dude, this is your legacy, man. But I'm okay. This was a good idea, letting it go to Spider-Man. I didn't even consider it for some reason, but good. Spider-Man's always been at the forefront, right? Ever since his creation, pretty much. So that's going to start a new storyline that's going to go from that issue 789 up to issue number 800. So 11 issues of this, The Fall of Peter Parker. If you guys are seeing what's happening currently in the Amazing Spider-Man comic books, Dan Slott is slaying it, because the Superior Octopus, that's Dr. Octopus, in the perfect Spider-Man clone body is He's wrecking house on Peter Parker, man, and it's amazing. And also, I mentioned on Twitter, I actually mentioned it in there, that on Twitter, Dan Slott was asked, how does Dr. Octopus have all of his memories from when he was the Superior Spider-Man? And he says no. He says no. He says, if you think about it, in issue 19, that was when he had gone up to, because there were 32 issues, technically 31 issues, but they threw in an extra, a 32nd issue, which I'm glad they did. But those first 19 issues where he was Superior Octopus, he went into the future. He accidentally, he did something. He wound up ending up in the future, and then that's when he actually started the whole Spider-Verse thing to destroy the threat of the. For crying out loud, the guys going after the others, you know what they're called, Karn and all of them. Anyway, yeah, just wrecked house on those. He started all that, and then Peter Parker wound up taking over leadership for that when Superior Spider-Man got sent back because life. Anyway, because Parker didn't understand, and he's just like, I can't believe you got my body. What? How did this happen? And just, yeah, all this crazy stuff. So yeah, it was actually a good thing, believe it or not. So anyway, he came back and he immediately uploaded all of his memories in the Ultimate Thinking Robot from back in the days, whatever. So he had all of his memories stored there, but it was from that point and prior. So everything that happened in issue number 20 through 32, that's not recorded there. So even though he heard about these things, he doesn't believe that those things happened, where he wound up coming to terms and actually giving Spider-Man or Peter Parker back his body. He initially he just figured, oh, no, he usurped and took the body back, and how dare you, and, you've always been a bad person. So he didn't come to terms with Peter Parker yet and all that stuff. So whatever. And yeah, anyway, I get into that in the actual comic book. So that's interesting. So right now, Superior Octopus is destroying Peter Parker. He's already destroyed one of his buildings in London, and he's taking over everything. He's taking over the Shanghai office right now. He's already taken over the LA one, which is technically in New Tien, if you're following Secret Empire. Just, man, he's wrecking house and everything. He's going to have the Baxter building pretty soon, which is technically the new Avengers mansion, Avengers Tower. So he's owning Peter Parker right now, and it's literally going to be the fall. And some way, somehow, Parker is going to go back to the Daily Bugle. My thoughts on this, my prediction, he's going to buy the Daily Bugle. Because how awesome would that be, right? So anyway, it's going to be called the Fall of Parker storyline. So over in Detective Comics, we just reviewed issue number 960. Well, in issue number 962, and you saw the reveal at the end of that. Okay, this is going to lead to the return of Azrael Batman in issue number 962. Holy crap, that is awesome! All right, very much digging that. Azrael Batman's coming back. Oh, also, speaking of Marvel Generations and DC, I put in here in a very small bubble that Marvel is going to be stealing the button idea by doing the lenticular covers for variant covers for all of their Generations comics. So, yeah, I'll buy them. I absolutely will buy them. Forget about it. How can I not buy those? But, all right, finishing things up. Just got a couple more things. Pixar's The Incredibles 2. It was just revealed that they're going to, first off, Wreck-It Ralph is going to be coming back also. I love Wreck-It Ralph. Currently, that's my son's favorite movie is Wreck-It Ralph. And they're going to be doing a new one called Ralph Breaks the Internet. So, nice. I like that. Nice little play there. Hopefully they don't do that little Kim Kardashian pose thing, because that would just be really freaky. But anyway, The Incredibles 2... fans for the longest time, I didn't even know about this, were clamoring that they wanted to be, what do the Incredibles look like today when they do Incredibles 2? Well, this may be another case of it's not Marvel, just Disney and Pixar trolling the fans, because they're saying, no, this is going to pick up 1 minute after the end of Incredibles 2. So right when they get their new costumes and like, hey! Yeah, the pose, which, by the way, is the way that you really do a Fantastic Four movie, freaking Fox. But, yeah, The Incredibles was the best Fantastic Four movie that ever came out, and it's not even officially called the Fantastic Four movie. So anyway, they that's going to pick up exactly 1 minute afterwards. Well, that's cool, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of fans are upset about that, apparently. I'm not in the know of this. I didn't know that until I read this stuff. So, hopefully this is just them trolling them and saying, okay, yeah, so it's going to start off there, and they're going to finish the pose, and then they're going to do a little SpongeBob, 12 years later, or however long it's been between now and when that movie actually hit theaters, the first one. So that'd be cool if they totally troll the fans like that. That would be great. But anyway, so yeah, there's that. But it's going to pick. They're claiming it's going to pick up the minute that it left off. So there's a funny little thing with Luke Skywalker with Mark Hamill. He was asked about they're making the young Han Solo movie, and it's supposed to be pretty good, whatever, exploring when he was younger. Do you think that they'll make and would you support them making a young Skywalker movie? And it's just like, okay, Han Solo had a very storied and adventurous life. Luke Skywalker grew up on a moisture farm. So literally, you actually want to see that movie? Yawn. Like, some people, man, like, they talk without actually thinking first. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like, what are they going to show? Him shooting womp rats in Beggar's Canyon? Come on, man. Like, maybe his old pod races and things like that, but he did not have... The whole purpose is that of showing Luke Skywalker in the beginning was showing that he had a very boring life. He hated life. You know what I'm saying? I would rather see a Biggs Darklighter movie. You know what I'm saying? A young Biggs Darklighter movie. That was his friend who was killed in the extended scenes. You can see it. He was killed, up in the Battle of the Death Star. The Battle of Yavin 4 is actually called. Oh, my kids are awake. And yeah, I would rather see that than a young Luke Skywalker movie. Like, what the frig, man? Unless you can do an Elseworlds thing. And the last thing I got here is new X-Men film. The new X-Men film, you'd watch that? Fragginator saying he'd watch that. Yeah, I would watch that. Forget about it, man. But, what do you call it? Yeah, the new X-Men. I'm not thinking it's going to be any good. It's going to be another Dark Phoenix saga thing. This is what I'm going to rant on. Fox again. A lot of times they'll do a really good X-Men movie, but I do not let the occasional good X-Men movie or Wolverine movie, Old Man Logan movie, blind me to the fact that they've made more bad movies than good movies, in my opinion. All right? And just of the X-Men franchise. Some of their movies, like Logan, or what do you call it, Wolverine Origins, you know what I'm saying? What was that? X-Men Last Stand? What in the hell, man? I'm not going to let the good movies distract me from the fact that they've had some real lemons. You know what I'm saying? I was going to say bombs and lemons at the same time. Blemons. So, yeah, like, here it is. They already screwed up doing the Dark Phoenix saga the first time. That was in X-Men Last Stand. So here's the question. Are you really just going to go right into... Like, you just introduced Jean Grey into the universe with the X-Men Apocalypse, and now you're not even going to let it breathe, and you're right away going to go into... Like, I'm sorry. Do these... I'm going to be mean now. Do these jackasses ever read a single X-Men comic? Do they even know who Chris Claremont is? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that he's come by and he's talked to them before a couple times and given them advice. But for the love of God, man, like, do you even listen to him? Chris Claremont didn't just introduce the freaking Dark Phoenix. First off, it was Jean Grey. She's back. Hey, the X-Men are back. The original X-Men are back. They're hanging out. All of a sudden, she dies, and she gets the Phoenix power. You know what I'm saying? And we've got the Phoenix going on, and then we see a little bit of darkness and things like that. And then all of a sudden, we have the Dark Phoenix saga. Okay, I'm going to get back to the word saga in a minute. Okay. First off, you have like, how many issues was it in between all of this stuff until issue number, what is it, 132 of the X-Men? Like, how long was that where they had all these amazing stories before they finally went into the whole Dark Phoenix saga thing? How long was that? Pretty darn long time, right? And what are they going to do here? They're just going to jump into it right away and make her dark. And let's be realistic. Do you think that they're going to let it go over 2 movies? They're going to call it the Dark Phoenix Saga Part 1 of 2? No. They're going to make her dark. They're going to make her powerful, make her dark, and then resolve it all in one freaking movie. Now let's get back to the word saga. Does saga sound like 1 issue? 10 issues? Okay, 10 issues maybe. But does Saga sound like something that can be resolved in 2 hours? No, it doesn't. Okay? A story, maybe. You know what I'm saying? But a storyline, you know what I'm saying? And now you're talking about a damned saga? Think about this, okay? You can name on a hand how many sagas there have been in the comic book universes. And I'm talking all of the comic book universes, okay? How many sagas there's been? Dark Phoenix Saga, Korvac Saga. Can you guys name any other ones? Because right now, currently, with it, like I'm just now thinking about this, I'm kind of at a loss. I've got 2 right now. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, John Cena. I used to do that in school in 3rd grade, and the kids in my 3rd grade class would be like, John Cena. I'm like, yeah, that's right. But literally, like, how many other sagas have there been? Like, hit me with a couple. Not that many, right? Not that many at all. So don't blow smoke up my butt and try and make me think that this is going to be good. It's not going to be good. Think about the last time they did that. Right now, they're focused. The reason why I'm even thinking about this is because they're prominently featuring Scott Summers, Cyclops, on here. Good. It's about damn time. The original guy who played Scott Summers in the first 2 movies, first 2 and 10 minutes of the 3rd movie, was actually really good. He was awesome. He looked like him. He acted like him. He was freaking. I was just like I don't. Not that I don't like Scott Summers, but I love not liking him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's the total perfect douche character, you know, in the comic books. But that's the way that I interpret him, you know, especially when he became an ex-terrorist. Point is, by ex, I mean mutant terrorist. But freaking, when this guy, like, yeah, why would you not focus the movies on him? I get it, Hugh Jackman, he's really awesome, but you've also got this guy, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know what to do anymore. You know what? I don't work in those movies. It's not my job to defend them. You know what I'm saying? Just to wonder why they're such dummies sometimes. So, yeah, he got an off-character death, an off-scene death in X-Men The Last Stand. Are they going to do better now? Let's find out. Let's find out. So, anyway, yeah, that's really all I got. Plus, my kids are screaming. My wife doesn't seem to be doing anything about it. I think she's in the bathroom. I think she's taking a shower. My screen door is closed. I can't tell. Anyway, so I got to go handle business. Anyway, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Oh, also, I did make a promise. So, we have first got, what do we got here? What do we got here? Black Fox, explained in a minute. Boom. That is now live. That is now live. And let me go over here to this guy. What do we got here? We got private video. No, there ain't going to be no private video nonsense here. Plug this in, and boom, just had to fix that, and yeah, save. Not only have I explained Black Fox, because he's just a minor character, whatever, no real reason to do it except that I really like the character, but also I did a spotlight on story, and that is Spider-Man, one of the times that Spider-Man went against Dr. Doom, and it was over the life of Black Fox, and boom, that is now published also. So when you guys leave here, when I cancel out this podcast, you guys can go and check out Black Fox, explained in a minute, and a storyline, issue number 349 and 350 of The Amazing Spider-Man, way back in the day, in the 90s, where Black Fox did something really stupid and earned the wrath of Dr. Doom, and Spider-Man had to try and defend him, and that battle didn't go so good for Spidey. All right, so there's that storyline right there. You guys can go and check it out. I'm going to try and do a spotlight on story every week. I'm going to really try hard to do that. And I'm building up my characters to try and do Thanos Quest because, yeah, really amazing story, which will eventually lead into Infinity Gauntlet and all the other good stuff too. All right, guys, that's really it for me. So, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Thanks for showing up, guys. Class dismissed.